Oh, I'm live. Sorry. I didn't know I was live. I was still waiting for people to join the live. So what's going on, guys? So today's live, we're going to talk about the one reason that you're going to be successful, but you got to show up. So like I was waiting for people to show up to the live. It's the same thing. You got to show up to whatever it is that you're planning to do. And you got to take accountability and you got to show up and make incremental steps. Right now in this live, obviously, waiting on people to show up, but I showed up, still doing the live. All right, so this live really is going to be pertinent to particular actions people are going to take right now. The biggest thing that I'm hearing a lot of people say that's happening, particularly in the car sharing business, is that they think the recession is going to somehow impact their particular line of business. But what you don't understand is the recession is probably an inflated reality for some people. In other words, there's some people that are never going to feel the pinch of the recession because they spend money irregardless of what the economic conditions are. On the other hand, there are people that live from paycheck to paycheck, or people that live from pay raises to bonuses. They are the ones that are going to be feeling this pinch. Right now, somebody told me that if they really wanted to know if we're going to be in a recession or if we actually are in a recession, they go to the store and they price the price of bacon. Like if bacon is expensive, that means we're in a recession. If it's not, we're not. The other yardstick that other people use, obviously, that have just finished the last 3 months ago is the gas prices. It's like, oh yeah, gas prices are going up astronomically. That means there's a recession. Also, you can look at the price of eggs, price of bread. Basically, it's food stuff. Oh, now we're going to talk about the car industry. Obviously, you've heard about the car industry bubble actually popping. What does that mean? Does that mean it's going to be less expensive to buy cars now, or is this just an inflated bubble that people, for some reason, thought was going to be their reality, but they never actually thought through the process of what it takes to have a recession? Okay, so think about some of these things. I wrote a book talking about the ensuing recession. Again, I don't want to beat the drum about what's going on, what's not going on. The book is right there. It's on Amazon. Go ahead and check it out. The ensuing recession. This has been talked about like clockwork, okay? But what I wanted to let you know too is, regardless of what's happening with the recession, you gotta know a way to kind of make yourself more important. In other words, what is it that you are wanting to do? And if you can understand that stuff that you're wanting to do, take incremental steps to make it happen. So that's step one. Step two is, while you're making that happen, you gotta devote time for your own personal well-being, okay? You gotta devote time to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, how is it that you're gonna take care of other people? In this case, your idea. Or how is it that you're gonna take care of a business, right? This requires an upkeep, requires time commitments, and it requires consistency. A friend of mine told me that most of the people that he's seen that are wealthy, that are well-to-do, have one thing in common. They don't watch a lot of TV. They don't have Netflix subscriptions. They don't binge watch. They show up consistently day after day to do something that's gonna impact their way of life. In other words, it's gonna impact what it is that they're trying to do. If it means building for the future, that's exactly what they're doing. They're not sitting around and wasting time consuming content. They actually are creating content. Just like this video that I'm putting out right now, I'm live. I'm gonna create this content. I'm gonna use it to talk about a topic that most people are talking about right now, but from a different angle. So now, dissecting the actual reality of what it takes to be a success in business, you only gotta show up. And you gotta show up consistently. And when you show up consistently, you're not gonna have a problem, okay? Don't worry about what the naysayers are saying. Oh, it's gonna be more expensive to start a rideshare business. It's gonna be more expensive to take that vacation that you wanna take. Or school is back in, it's gonna be more expensive to buy books. It's gonna be more expensive to buy pencil, computers, all that stuff. And they want you to believe that the only time you're gonna get some kind of a break is when there's a tax holiday or something like that, right? They're kind of giving you the reason to make certain purchase decisions, okay? Right now, they're scaring the you know what out of people because they said, the recession is coming, sell all your cars, recession is coming, you can't afford your house, recession is coming. But there are jobs everywhere, people are looking for jobs. Or they say, well, there's not enough jobs. The economy is wanting to dampen the economy. It's just going out of hand. Everything is haywire. It's going expensive. But is that really what's happening? I want you to think about this for a second, and then tell me. Leave some comments in the chat. I think the chat is open right here. If you want to chat, go ahead. The chat is visible right now. All chats are visible, and just let me know what you think about this stuff. If you want to learn more, go ahead and talk about the chat. There's a lot of chats here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave the chat alone. But if you have questions about the particular action you should take during the recession, go ahead and leave a comment. Ask a question. I'm going to answer that question later, okay? But to the point that I was making about this particular live chat, there's one reason and one thing you got to do to get yourself positioned for immense success. And that one thing I'm going to hop on it again is you got to show up. And you got to show up consistently. When you show up and you show up consistently, you're going to be in a situation to not only get yourself primed for success, but you're also going to see what it takes to get from point A to point B. People don't just get from point A to point B out of thin air. They actually put in work. They put in work consistently. Give me an example of a consistent work. It's what you're seeing right here with Carshierge. I launched Carshierge a little over a year ago, all right? Part of the work that's required to launch Carshierge is not only to build out the platform as an app on Apple Store, it's also to build out the website, also to have the fleet of cars, reach out to hosts in the car sharing industry, all right? And form a network or partnership with those hosts. I kind of have some of them right now, and I'm looking to kind of build more. In this case, I'm looking for, if you're a driver, you know, you share cars and you drive people's cars, or you rent cars, this is a platform for you to come on and understand. Through my Carshierge University, I'm actually going to be training and showing people what exactly they need to do to be successful in the industry. This industry is taking a turn for the better. Never mind the naysayers that are telling you right now that it's the wrong time to actually get into the car industry. They want you to sell all your cars. They want you to be basically homeless. Why do I say that? Because your car is like assets, okay? Most people don't realize that. They think, well, you know, if you have a car, the moment you drive the car off the lot, it's worthless. It's going to depreciate. But is that really what happens every time? Or is it just a fantasy? People just want to let you get rid of what you have so you don't have anything, so you can come back later. People have actually compared the so-called recession that's coming to the 2008 housing bubble. Is that true? As a matter of fact, people are saying the house market too is going to reach a point of no return where people are not going to be able to make money anymore. Is that true? It's certainly not true from what I'm seeing. I've seen house prices consistently go up. Before houses come on the market, people just snap them up. They snap them up, and the next you know, folks that have been working hard are now priced out of homes. Okay, so what can you do? How can you show up to actually be part of that housing market? That's a topic for another live. We're going to talk about that later. But we're focusing on the one thing that you can do right now that's going to make you successful is that you got to show up, and you got to show up consistently. When you show up consistently and you put in work, you're going to see the fruits of that labor that you're doing. Okay, it might take a year, it might take 2, it might take 5 years, it might take 10 years, but you're showing up consistently and you're producing something. You're producing content, or you're producing a product, or you have a service. You're answering a question that people have. Getting to the root of these problems is how wealth is built. I'm not going to say you're going to be rich overnight. I'm not going to say you're going to be rich. I'm just saying, put in work, show up, and do it consistently, and you're going to be better positioned for whatever happens. You've got to tune out what's happening, but also be mindful and be in a situation to do the best you can. So I'm going to leave you there right now. If you have questions, go ahead and leave the comment right there. I'm going to be reaching out later on. I'll be answering most of your questions.